at an English fair. One evening I was there when I heard a showman shouting underneath the flare. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are standing in a row. Big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. Give 'em a twist, a flick of the wrist, that's what the showman said. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Every ball you throw will make me rich. There stands me wife, the idol of me life, singing roly bowl a ball a penny a pitch. Singing roly bowl a ball a penny a pitch. Singing roly bowl a ball a penny a pitch. Roly bowl a ball, singing roly bowl a ball a penny a pitch.
Welcome to Ecchi August. I am your host, Catboy from Catboy Rants and Catboy at the Con, also known as Cam. This week we are going to talk about Kekko Kamen. I brought it up a little bit last week after we went ahead and went over Miyuki-chan in Wonderland, but this is a Go Nagi. Anime, and a lot of you who know who Go Nagi is, they've made like Devilman, they've made Cutie Honey, a lot of Cutie Honey. There's a lot of anime they've made. I mean, that basically you can tell by the art style how it's going to go, as well as, of course, you know, what kind of stuff they're going to actually throw in. There's always a set of tits with Go Nagi. This one is no different. Kekko Kamen is about basically a school where you have a young girl named Mayumi who is basically constantly attacked by the school officials. I'm not freaking kidding. You have the toenail of Satan, which is the principal here. You have the teacher, whose name is Ben. And you have the gym teacher who looks basically like Rocky from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Excuse me, the monster Rocky from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I've watched these a few times, and even now, I've watched, with Kekko Kamen, I've watched it, and it's kind of weird, and I still don't get a lot of it. You can almost say that it almost seems like you put in a school where you have these girls that, you know, they wear normal school outfits, and the teachers basically single out one girl to be their torture subject, and that's what happens. I mean, Mayumi just keeps on getting attacked over and over again. She gets stripped. There's a scene where she gets basically almost tentacle raped. But every time that it's stopped by Kekko Kamen. Now, Kekko Kamen has a weird way of stopping the bad guys. One is, the only thing that's covered up is her face. Everything else is completely, well, she's got boots on and gloves, but still, you know, it's weird because, I mean, even on the back it says, "Fighting for justice, freedom, and the naked truth." Why is she naked? You're probably asking. Well, the way she ties it in is that the only thing she will hide is her face. There's nothing wrong with the human body, which I'm fine with, you know. There is nothing wrong with the human body. And you got to get over that whenever you're doing anything artwork-wise, because anybody who's done anything with art has done a figure drawing class. And with figure drawing classes, you are basically drawing a naked person. When I was in college, I took a figure drawing class, and it was very nice. However, very different between the male artist, the male model, and the female model. The male model would happen every Monday, and he'd show up, strip down, sit in the middle of the room, and do whatever you needed him to do. That's fine. Female model would do the same thing. However, they were different about it. The male model, after he was done, he would get up, walk around, look at what people were drawing, get right up to you, you know, kind of give you that, you know, captain pose, you know. Only he's naked, so his cash and prizes are kind of dangling in front of you. And you've just seen this guy take a pose like this, or like this entire time. You don't want to see his junk in your face. Now, I bet there was probably a few people that were wanting that, if it wasn't for the fact he kind of looked like a homeless man, and kind of smelled like it too. The female model was much different. She, as soon as she was done modeling, she'd go into this corner, which was kind of blocked off for her so she could change, and kind of put on her robe. She wouldn't really talk to us that much. We kept on trying to tell her, it's all right, you can open up to us, we're not going to like stalk you or anything. But you know how it is. She didn't want to really get around a lot of us, since, you know, she was basically paid to show her body to us. Now, she was always there on Wednesdays, and I came to hate Mondays just for one reason, and that is he would always walk through, and like I said, he smelled bad. He just had that air of, look at me, look at them, aren't they styled? There you go. Well, the female model was basically like, I'm sorry, it's alright. You know who was doing it for fun and who was doing it for the money. Kind of felt bad for her, but you know, you got to do what you got to do for money, you know? Yeah. So, when I saw Kekko Kamen, I'll be honest, I saw Kekko Kamen in Best Buy. Now, a lot of the anime that I've actually purchased that kind of, like, Ecchi, like all this stuff right here, I kind of purchased at Best Buy when I was working at it. Which a lot of you out there who are thinking, well, that's a great idea. No, it's not, because then you're basically, you know the song Working for the Company Store? Yeah, you're basically doing that. You're working there so you can buy shit there. And anybody who works there who knows anything about, you know, working in the computer department, TV department, anything, when you're really big into it, you're basically going to buy, you know, waste your entire paycheck either on your rent or on buying anything there. Few things. When I bought this, I thought it was going to be basically a hentai that was kind of thrown in, and it kind of is. I mean, it's TV MA. Granted, there's a lot of stuff that's shown on regular TV MA. Violent sexual situations and language, which basically means a lot of nudity and implied sexual content. I like the insert that they give you, because it's basically the front here, but really nothing blocking, so I will kind of put my finger over that, so that way, of course, you don't see the nipple. Because we are trying to, you know, again, I want people to watch these videos and not be like, that guy's kind of throwing out porn. I'm not. I'm blocking shit for you, making it a little more decent so that anybody can really watch these. The other thing on this, since this is from ADV, and you'll notice that a lot of these movies are from ADV. Yuki-chan in Wonderland, ADV. Kekko Kamen, ADV. Oh. Idol Project, Anime Works. And Ecchi Club, Anime Works. So we're kind of spreading it out a little bit. Almost swear that all of them were ADV, but, you know, ADV is no longer with us, so moment of silence. But one of the things that they all do is they all kind of throw in like little inserts on these to show what to actually buy later on. And on this, I gotta say, there's a few on here that I would have loved to get the whole thing. I mean, they've got Ava, Peacemaker, which was alright. Don't ban me for anything on saying that. I've got some of the videos for Peacemaker. It didn't really hit me that well. It didn't strike me as the series I had to have. Sorcerer Hunters, I've got a lot of those because I like the characters. Ease, never watched it. Sister Princess, never watched it. Princess Tutu. I was gonna watch it, and I actually found a lot of videos at Best Buy with it, but it's like being that guy that, you know, he buys kid shows like My Little Pony. Kind of start getting that vibe that you shouldn't be doing that. And again, another ADV customer contact card. You wouldn't really get anything with these whenever you would go ahead and send them out. You get and basically because you get new type USA on the bottom. You would, like I said, you wouldn't get any information, anything back. They just wanted survey information for us. Kind of wish they would have thrown something in there like, if you put this in, we'll send you back at least frickin' stickers, Like, you bought this episode, you bought Kekko Kamen, we're gonna send you some free booby stickers. That would have been great. Don't know what you'd be doing with them. Younger men probably, what he'd be doing with them. But, First thing I'd like to bring up is, like I said, I've watched this a few times. I don't know how this school would have come into be, because let's get into this first. The principal. This is the principal right here. The principal kind of looks like, well, he's got tentacles coming off his head. He's got a foot and a mask he never takes off. I'm sorry, but if I had a principal like that in school, I wouldn't want to be in that school anymore. I'd be like, you know what, I'd rather go to the school across town. Or I'd rather go to the school in another town. Because this fucker's weird. The teacher looks like a doctor. And he's the most perverted asshole out there. And the gym teacher, I can actually say, I've known some gym teachers who acted like, you've got to be like this. Come on. Because those are people that are really into their job. I've also known the gym teachers that are basically sitting there eating some Cheetos, reading the newspaper while they just hit a little button and say, you're doing what it says, if you do it too bad, you're not gonna. Yeah, third grade was crap. But the principal and the teacher, you always see them together, and they're always, thinking, well, you gotta see some boobies. First episode, that's what it really is. Basically, they're getting them all together. They're gonna go ahead and find a way to get some ladies naked. They're, getting that way of, we gotta get them naked. And that's basically the whole thing. That's all that happens in this. If I really want to go ahead and put it, they bring in another character who is basically a helper of... She looks like a dominatrix. And again, I won't lie. I never paid attention to these. And that's the bad thing about a lot of ecchi stuff for men, okay? And for some women out there, you know who you are. You'll watch this, and you'll think it's got a great story, and then when somebody asks you what that story is, you'll basically be like, there's a story? Kekko Kamen, it's just weird. The one thing that they try to do, more than anything, is try to figure out who Kekko Kamen is. And the story itself will try to point you to the friend of Mayumi, because she looks exactly the fucking like her. And I mean that. It's like, if there's even some scenes where you're saying, she is her friend. Why the hell is she always saving that chick and letting the rest of them go? No, she is her friend. But that's not the case. It's really not. And that's the weird shit. It's like okay, spoilers. It's like Harry Potter, and at the end you find out Snape's been trying to help him this entire fucking time. Okay? That Snape's truly the hero. Harry is this person that's been basically given all this information, and he hates Snape with all his heart. And then it turns out Snape's been doing all the shit he can just to save Harry from getting his ass killed. And that's what Kekko Kamen is, because at the end, again, spoilers, you find out that Kekko Kamen is not just one person. It's a bunch of sisters who go to the school, all have the same body type, so that way nobody is just Kekko Kamen. It's a bunch of these girls, which is a good idea, It's like if Batman had a twin brother. He'd be like, hey there, Batman. Hey there, Mr. Bruce Wayne. You know, they could do that all the time. Or what they did when they finally needed to say what happened to Clark Kent after The World Without a Superman, or The Return of the Superman, where they basically had Supergirl change form to look like Clark Kent, so that way Superman could come in there and save his ass. Be like, oh, you've been trapped underneath the rubble for 8 months. How the hell did you survive? It's 8 months without food. But again, it's comic books, so you don't really... I think they said that he was trapped with some food, but, you know, still, it's 8 months. He should have smelled like a foot wrapped in old Indian food and a baby diaper. You know, that sat out in the sun for 5 frickin' years. Or a calf hutch that's been sitting there for 10 years without getting cleaned out. All that afterbirth. Yeah. Just to get back to this, sorry about the little break. Another show, I mean, like I said, it's Go Nagi. I like Devilman. I really do. It's short, it's kind of weird, but it's an okay show. Everybody's got to have their little guilty pleasures. Kekko Kamen, like I said, I got it originally at Best Buy because I thought, boobies, $30. It's anime. I got it. And this kind of goes with it. This is another Go Nagi. It's called The Devil Lady. Now, if you're wondering if it kind of goes into Devilman, kinda. It's weird. Again, it's a whole series. And I will be honest, I have watched maybe the first episode. Well, first couple episodes. Let's see. 26 episodes out of this thing. Yeah. It's got the guide right here, a little insert, again. Another ADV Films. And I will be honestly tell you that I have not really watched any of this. I really want to sit down with some friends and watch it, just because if you sit it down in a group setting, and watch things in a group setting, you're more likely to watch it all the way through, because you have people there to kind of comment on it with you. And this is what I want to tell you. This is the back. It goes, by day a beautiful shy fashion plate, by night a terrifying vision of demonic power. When a mysterious stalker pitches Jun Fudo headfirst into a brutal confrontation with the supernatural, this popular supermodel realizes power beyond her imagining. From master of animated horror, Go Nagi comes a whoring odyssey through the twisted maze that is Jun's life as a devil lady. It's a full-tilt gothic horror as Jun battles with an army of demonic forces threatening to destroy mankind and create a new order of devil beasts in its place. Now, again, you're probably wondering, does it take anything from the original Devilman? I don't see anything, honestly. There's no really reoccurring characters. As much as I've seen, it doesn't seem like she is the daughter of the previous people. Really, nobody's really mentioned before. So I kind of wonder what the hell's going on. Again, I won't really go into too much with this because I just want to bring this up. This is another thing. Like I said, you'll find it with Go Nagi stuff. Kekko Kamen. I've got the live-action Cutie Honey. Got the box. See, this is how it is sometimes. You get still in the package too. Original Cutie Honey. Live-action Cutie Honey. Mostly got it because I'm an anime geek. And it came in this. It was a collectible. But maybe one of these days, my kids, you know, when I have kids, will go to school with a Cutie Honey lunchbox, and people will be like, who's Cutie Honey? And I hope they don't answer that, because that might get Dad in trouble. Now, a few little things about this, since this is going to be a little bit shorter than a lot of them. what I'm going to try to do for the ending for Ecchi Club, excuse me, for Ecchi Club, is I'm going to try to see if I can get a few people here, either here or somewhere else, so we can do a full group review of it for you. I don't know how well that will go over, just because I know there's a lot of people out there who have not seen it. I've seen it before just because, you know, again, boobies. Got it and thought, you know, this will be good. Again, single. At Best Buy, you don't find hentai. You find ecchi stuff. And that's good, though. That's good, because you don't want, you know, a kid go in there, buy something, and then take it home, and mom and dad find out, hey, this is hentai, or this is porn. Our child should not be seeing this. I say that because it brings up something I did several years ago. There's a place here in Yakima that used to be on a group of stores called Track 29. Track 29 is now no longer there. It still stands, but nobody's there anymore because financial issues. There was a comic book shop in there, and they had a bunch of nice manga, and one looked like DOA manga. But when you got to it closer, you noticed that all the women had big tracts of land. It was a very, for those of you who've seen some of the hentai where the women are very shapely, you know, big, you know, beautiful women. That's what this basically was. But a lot of the characters looked like they were from DOA. This little boy found it, picked it up, and then started to take it up to the front. The guy who was running the cash register saw it and started to ring it up. I saw it and I realized what it was. I went up to him and says, "You do not want to sell him that." He goes, "Why not?" He has the money. I said, "Yes, but you do not want to sell him that." He goes, "Why?" And he says, "Because he looks like he's 10 or 12 years old." He goes, "So? It's a kid's comic book." I said, "No, it's not. Open it up." He opens it up and he starts reading it, and he immediately slams it closed. He then looks at me, looks at the kid, and tells the kid, "I'm sorry, I cannot sell this to you." The kid looked at him and started crying. The whole thing is about these maids who go out to people's houses, they clean up their house, and then they have sex with them. That's the whole thing. And I have that. Because as soon as I told him about that, as soon as I brought it to his attention, he took it off the shelf. And I said, "What are you going to do with it?" He says, "I'm probably going to throw it away." I said, "Give it to me." He says, "Why do you want it?" I said, "I don't want it, but I want to make sure that this doesn't get in the hands of a little kid." Which is the truth. I didn't want a little kid to get it, because think about it. You are a business owner. You have this in your store. Someone comes in, buys it. Little one buys it. Next thing you know, you are blacklisted by every family group in the area because you sold a kid porn. So that's why I try to find a lot of this kind of stuff. One, because of my own desire to watch it, and two, because it's an interesting actual thing. And that's the whole thing about ecchi itself. I mean, you see some people and you see what they're watching and go, "Oh my God, that guy's a pervert." However, for those of us who do a lot of artwork, it's really important to understand how the body looks, how the body falls. And in some shows, I will not lie, in some shows like Ecchi Club, there is nothing, there is nothing right about how their bodies are. However, in others, like in this one, especially in Devil Lady, she's supposed to be a model. And in it shows how the body really reacts, how it moves, how the light plays off it. And for someone who's really into trying to figure out anatomy of an anime character, this really works really well. I won't lie. Same thing with this. This is one of the worst things you can really do, is go and tell a person that they are perverted for looking at this stuff. Because if you look at it, you get to see the full range of animation. You get the perverted look on the teachers' faces, on the principal's face. That look of, "Oh my God, she's got boobs. We're going to get to see them." You're going to get to see that, but at the same time you get to see their reactions. You get to see the reactions of the young ladies. You get to see how layers of clothing get stripped off. I mean, how it actually tears. Because one of the worst things you can do when you're actually drawing something, I'll take an example. When I was younger, I did a little comic called The Strife Chronicles. Didn't go anywhere. If you look on DeviantArt, there is a couple pages of it on there. And I did not really know how this clothing was supposed to strip. And you'll see that with some of the battle scenes, some of the armor, how it gets damaged. I tried my best. I had really good friends who helped out with that. So, Brian Washines, you're a great guy. Chris Snyder, he was freaking awesome. Brian actually, for those of you who are looking for someone who does awesome work with movies and such, Brian, he's up in Seattle. He's going to school. So if you're looking for somebody to go ahead and make a movie with, he's the guy to go with. Chris is no longer with us, unfortunately, but if he was, I'd say that guy's the guy to go ahead and look for you know, scouting locations out in the wilderness. But just to bring this back, that's why I'm kind of doing Ecchi month, Ecchi August, because a lot of times when people say they're looking at something, even in something that we're looking at, say like Little Monica, when we're looking at this, I can honestly say it is very perverted. It is. However, the proportions are perfect. Especially when you're looking at the Big Eyes anime. Each one of the girls have a proportion size. And you can really see this in the first one right here, and this one right here. This one's turned away a little bit, but the way that they have the eyes, and the way that you have a lot of artists look at it, is you either have a full eye width in between the eyes, or an eye width and a half in between the eyes, before you have the other eye. Which is a great key for people when they're first starting out. You see that with some other series. Kekko Kamen, you can see they're actually doing an eye width and a half for the female characters, because they're trying to make it look you know, more pleasing to the audience. While all the villains, all the evil villains, have smaller eyes. Squinted eyes can kind of show that they are shifty characters. You see the same thing in this. There's in Little Monica, there's a evil villain who's trying to just snatch stuff up. He's got squinty eyes, and they're close together, showing that he's evil, villainous. In others, it's just interesting how they show the reaction between characters, how the body moves, and really that's why I'm doing Ecchi August, is to show this stuff to you. That way, for all the young artists out there who are looking for something to look, you know, I know right now in the advent of the internet, you can go online, go to 4chan, go to 7chan, anywhere, and actually look up a lot of ecchi stuff if you don't want to look at the hardcore hentai stuff. And you can look at it, and you can take your ideas from there, or you can go DeviantArt, any actual art site, and actually look up all this stuff. But when I was younger, you didn't have that ability. Yes, there was the internet out there, but you had AOL, you had those dial-ups that if you were online, nobody else could get and use the phone. And even where I lived, there's still a lot of people still doing the dial-up. I know a lot of people are saying, well, that's not even heard of. That's the way it is. And that's the way it's going to be for quite a while until we get to the age where everybody can be on that super high-fast internet access. But really, that's what we get down to it. Because if you look at other anime out there, such as, well, One Piece, I'll take that into account. Not everybody is in proportion. Take Nami, for example. Very thin arms, thin body, but again, we're trying to go ahead and go for a more lithe look, more streamlined look, and get some other characters who are a little bit more exaggerated. With these, they're not so exaggerated. I mean, even look at the Devil Lady back here. This looks pretty well proportioned. I know this area could be a little bit, you know, smaller. I know you can't see it very well, but she's supposed to be a model, and it actually shows more of the actual human body itself versus an exaggeration of the body. And it's a great way to learn. It's basically figure drawing for those of us who don't want to go ahead and take a figure drawing class. So, which leads us into next week's Idol project. Now, like I said, this is a little bit more fan servicey than actual ecchi, but you'll understand when we come down to it, because I've seen this a few times. It's interesting. Really interesting. Till next time, have a good week.
Nobody knows my face, but everybody knows my body.
Oh yeah, it's Kekko Kamen from Go Nagai, the girl-crazy creator of Cutie Honey. Can this super sexy superhero dominate the evil dominatrix?
It's so damn good!
Muffocate the malicious muscle monster? Triumph over the tentacle-wielding robo-chick?
Taste the electricity!
Or make the sleazy samurai stop his evil tricks?
I may be bad, but I'm not a pervert.
And in the end, can she save student Mayumi Takahashi from the clutches of doom? Guess you'll just have to keep your eyes peeled and see for yourself. And there's plenty to see. Kekko Kamen, only from ADV Films. Sexy. Actual DVD does not contain black bars. Buy the DVD and you can see all the nudity, including